ホルダーも対人用に調整した。今度こそ迎え撃つ。アゲハ、出てこい。眠らせろ。よし、一人聞いたな。上出来だ。
消えた。
反撃。
Hell mode. Sometimes with these shows, I wonder. You have to imagine that they have meetings and they're talking about the structure of the show. They have a screenwriter, right? Like somebody who is adapting the manga into a script, right? You have to imagine that there's a scriptwriter and an adaptationist, right? Somebody who is like in charge of adapting the material. You have to imagine it goes through a few different hands. And somebody goes like, okay, yeah, this looks good, this looks good. And then you have somebody else who's like directorial who says, okay, these are the scenes, this was gonna plop, this was we're gonna cut, yada, yada, yada. You have to imagine that these things happen, right? You also have to imagine that as a director of a show, right? This is, the studio is Yokohama Animation Lab. It's not like they're like a huge entity. But they have done, you know, some good anime before. One of my favorite is Genius Prince. I think that they did an amazing job on adapting that one. But you have to imagine they want to put out a good product, right? When you are a studio that I think they've been around since 2015, every anime that you produce is a marketing ploy, is a look at me to get funded for more, to get chosen for more, right? When a manga is pitched to be adapted, it's pitched to multiple studios and a studio bites on it. And unless you are Kadokawa or, you know, one of these larger entities to where you could be really picky and choosy, every anime you put out is like you're trying to put your best foot forward. So what I mean by that is like if your anime doesn't review well, doesn't look good, I imagine that a lot of manga and, you know, manga creators, light novel creators, if they have a choice or a say, their product may not even be pitched to the studio. So anyways, what I'm saying is this is garbage, okay? The episode starts off with what's her name? The purple hair girl, Cecil. It starts off because she ran away. She ran away because her brother died, yada yada yada. Then our boy goes and Alan goes and consoles her and gets her back on her feet, and she declares that she's gonna go and do the noble thing to do, whatever that is. Okay. Then right after that, after she gets picked up on her stuff, Alan then goes and we get like a montage of him conquering a ant farm, essentially. He takes down a queen ant and he finds a mithril mine. The family for Cecil, the Granville family, says, okay, we're gonna give you 30% of the mine. So they're gonna get 70%, right? And Alan's like, okay, cool. Whatever. That's not really his priority. If he wanted money, he could just run away and go find different things to do, okay? So he finds that. He's like, okay, so that's good. It's a good win for Alan. The king then sends his people and some other gross noble dude, and they're like, we're gonna take 50-50, bro. And the Granville guy's like, no. So their plan is to force him into doing it. So what they do is they find this weird group and they kidnap Cecil. So now we start off with her running away, and now at the end of the episode, she's kidnapped. So they kidnap Cecil at the end of the episode. They end up her and Alan end up on an airship. As what pisses me off, Alan was able to take down a queen spider, queen ant, and able to summon thousands of orcs or bears, and he's able to do all this shit. But he tried to take these guys down with a sword, okay? He allowed himself to get not poisoned, but like he allowed himself to get knocked out. And he has summons that are anti-poison resistant and who can poison and who can have the same effects with his butterflies. So my problem with that scene is instead of letting Cecil get kidnapped, show off your power, bro. Save the girl. Why are you hard-headed? So it must just be because they wanted to depict it to where he gets kidnapped and yada 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 yada. But like, it makes no sense. Summon your bears, summon your papillions, summon your crows, summon all of them. Summon the army. Fill that room up with like 1,000 bears. Make it make sense. It doesn't. It's stupid. So then he gets kidnapped. He finds out that the Baron and the guy sent by the king, the guy who's like gray, looks like he's on his deathbed. They organize this so they can force the Granville's hand into handing over the mine. And then it ends with the episode and Alan's like, time for some payback. Stupid. So stupid. It's just so bad. It's bad writing. It's cringy and not in a good way. Not in like a ha ha ha. Like, you know, an example of that is this season there's a romance anime called You and I Are Polar Opposites. And it basically does comedy through cringe. And it's so fun. And a breath of fresh air and so good. This is cringy in like edgelord way, but not even like Ari Ferretta edgelord. Like, oh, that's, you know, it's cringy, but it's cool. It's just bad. And on top of everything else, they're gonna introduce another villain, not only in the king and his people and this weird noble and the guy who says he's as powerful as the old guy and that partially kidnapped them. We have one episode left. What satisfaction are we gonna get? He takes down these guys. He pushes himself to the limits. He takes down the big bad. Maybe he exposes these noble guys for conspiring to kidnap Cecil. So that's best case. I don't know. This episode was like 5 out of 10. I think it was garbage. Just hot, straight, just hot garbage. Did not like it. I'm gonna finish though. I'll see you guys next week. We'll see if we get maybe a satisfying ending. Maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe I'll be like, oh my god, I'm so good. I can't believe it. I can't believe this trash anime ended on that note. You would hope they would try, especially if they want to get a season 2. So I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out, my friends.